WADR, promoting dialogue.
It's midday in Dakar and Accra, 1 p.m. in Abuja. This is West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting on 94.9 FM and around the world on WADR.org. Welcome to Newslink, WADR's comprehensive news package. Now, let's begin with our top stories. Mali's referendum vote sees participation of defense and security forces, excluding reconstituted armed forces in Kidal. Burkina Faso and Morocco forged strong partnerships through key cooperation agreements, and 79 Guinean nationals seized during the Dakar protest deported after their release.
As you know, the demonstrations were banned, and unfortunately, some people disobeyed the ban. Buildings were destroyed, and the Senegalese government responded by arresting some people. I appeal now to all Guineans throughout the world. When there is an internal problem somewhere, go home and don't get involved.
And the Beninese government deployed over 1,000 health workers across the country to deliver quality health services. Stay with us for details of these and more.
Here is Abdullahi Hassan with Newslink.
Many thanks for joining us. We begin in Mali, where the Defense and Security Forces, FDS, along with paramilitary services, including customs, exercised their right to advance voting on Sunday in Bamako and other parts of the country. State authorities have confirmed that the day transpired without any significant incident. However, in Kidal, the reconstituted armed forces abstained from participating in the referendum vote, which will establish a new constitution. Bamako correspondent Ramatu Haidara has more in this report, voiced by Oge Berika in our studios.
Voting commenced at 8 a.m. in the garrisons, witnessing a significant turnout of the defense and security forces, along with the paramilitary corps, including customs, civil protection, water and forestry. The National Guard Headquarters Voting Center, where the Minister of Defense and Veterans cast his vote, reported no major incident. Colonel Sergio Camara, serving as the Minister for Defense and Veterans, participated in the electoral process.
We have noted the smooth running of the poll, especially with regard to the early voting by members of the armed forces.
Brigadier General Daoud Ali Mohammedin, the Minister for Security and Civil Protection, exercised his voting rights at the Bamako Police Academy Center. He emphasized the necessity of adopting a new constitution as a crucial step towards laying the groundwork for a renewed Mali.
Today, we must unite around the most essential issues. We all need to get involved to provide a good foundation for this country, which has truly suffered enough.
Kidal did not witness any voting activities as the armed groups who are signatories to the 2015 peace agreement expressed their opposition to the proposed text, citing a lack of recognition within the draft. The coordination, the Movement Association et Sympathisant de l'Imam Mahmoud Diko, CMAS, reiterated their dissent against the bill through a press release. CMAS has filed applications with both the Supreme Court and the Constitutional Court seeking the annulment of two decrees. One of the decrees pertains to the commission responsible for drafting and finalizing the new constitution, while the other relates to the convening of the Electoral College.
Oge Berika with that report sent by our Bamako correspondent Ramatu Haidara. Meanwhile, 79 Guinean individuals who were apprehended during protests in Dakar and subsequently deported by the Senegalese government have reached the Guinean border. They were warmly received by the authorities of the Koundora prefecture, where they will undergo identification procedures before being transported to Conakry for further assistance and support. In light of these events, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Morisanda Kouyaté, issued a call to Guineans residing abroad, urging them to refrain from interfering in the internal affairs of their host countries.
Vous savez que les manifestations ont été interdites. As you know, the demonstrations were banned, and unfortunately, some people disobeyed the ban. There was violence, buildings were destroyed, and the Senegalese government responded by arresting some people. Unfortunately, some Guineans were arrested there. Given our relationship as good neighbors, the Senegalese government chose to expel them. This group is already at the border between Guinea and Senegal. In the past, everyone had a Guinean passport, but now we must also be vigilant to know whether they are Guineans or people of other nationalities with Guinean passport. When you are in someone else's country, you have to respect their laws. All the more so when there are movements going on, one mustn't get involved. I appeal now to all Guineans throughout the world. When there is an internal problem somewhere, go home and don't get involved. Respect the laws of the country.
Dr. Maurice Anakuyat is the Guinean Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Fresh and breaking news all the time. Hear it first as the news breaks, only on West Africa Democracy Radio. Newslink continues.
The Burkinabe government has signed a series of significant cooperation agreements across diverse fields with Morocco during the fourth session of the Joint Cooperation Commission held in Dakar. In a joint communiqué by Olivia Ruamba and Nasser Bourita, 12 legal instruments were formalized, comprising 10 agreements, a comprehensive plan of action, and a well-defined roadmap. These pivotal agreements, the statement says, encompass a wide array of sectors ranging from diplomacy, customs and justice to water management, decentralized cooperation, tourism, sport and higher education. Matisi completes the story.
Speaking on the national television RTB, Olivia Ruamba explained that the recently established agreements between Burkina Faso and Morocco are based on common interests and aim to contribute to the implementation of Burkina Faso's Stabilization and Development Program. She emphasized that the first pillar of this program is combating terrorism and restoring the country's territorial integrity, while the second component focuses on addressing the humanitarian needs of approximately 2 million internally displaced persons. Ruamba affirmed Burkina Faso's unwavering and consistent support for the territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Morocco. She emphasized that the fight for territorial integrity is a shared concern, as Burkina Faso also seeks to restore its own territorial integrity. Experts argue that the African countries should prioritize the strengthening of cooperation among themselves before seeking partnerships with other continents. As part of the agreements, the Moroccan Agency for International Cooperation has committed to providing Burkina Faso with an annual quota of 130 scholarships for academic years 2023-2024, 2024-2025, and 2025-2026. Out of these scholarships, 100 will be allocated within the official quota, while an additional 30 scholarships will be specifically designated for the southern region of Morocco. The fifth session of the Joint Commission between Burkina Faso and Morocco is scheduled to take place in 2025 in Ouagadougou.
Matisi reporting there. A recent Afrobarometer survey indicates the Gambia presidency is widely regarded as the most corrupt institution in the country. Additionally, an increasing number of Gambians expressed concerns about feeling unsafe in their neighborhoods, with over 70% stating that they believe the government is not taking sufficient measures to combat crime. Bringing out the details of this story is our Banjul correspondent, Sankule Janko.
According to a recent survey conducted by Afrobarometer, a Pan-African non-partisan, non-profit survey research network, more than 50% of Gambians perceive President Adama Barrow's led presidency as the most corrupt institution in the Gambia. Dr. Lamin Sanyang, a senior researcher at the Afrobarometer, presented the findings of the survey.
With respect to the perception of Gambians, they feel that the office of the president and the tax officials are considered much more corrupt than, of course, the police.
The office of the president under President Barrow has been embroiled in scandals, including revelations made by the office of the Auditor General. These scandals involve issues such as lack of due process in the security port saga and the passport scandals, among others. The survey indicates that approximately 45% of Gambians believe most or all police officials are corrupt, which is slightly better rating compared to the office of the presidency, 51%, and tax officials, 50%. On a positive note, religious leaders are perceived to be the least corrupt individuals in the Gambia. Insecurity is also a growing concern in the country, as an increased number of Gambians reported feeling unsafe in their neighborhoods and homes several times during the past year, as highlighted by Dr. Lamin Sanyang.
Between 2018 and 2022, we are seeing a sharp increase from 21% to 41%, a 20-point increase in terms of Gambians feeling unsafe in their neighborhood. And when it comes to fear in crime at home, from 13 in 2018 to 26 in 2022.
Regarding the government's efforts to address insecurity, nearly 73% of Gambians expressed negative assessments of the government's performance in reducing crime. This represents a 31% point increase since 2018. The survey involved the participation of 1,200 adult citizens and was conducted between August 30 and September 19, 2022. The office of the government spokesperson could not be reached for comments. For Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, I am Sankula Janku reporting from Banjul.
Now away from the Gambia, German Ambassador Daniel Krul is urging the Ghanaian government to go beyond mere tree planting efforts and implement robust policies against deforestation and illegal mining. Speaking from his official capacity on Green Ghana Day, Ambassador Krul joined other dignitaries in emphasizing the pressing need to address the persistent degradation of Ghana's forest. This degradation, which has gone on for years without concerted efforts for reforestation, requires immediate action. WADR's Accra correspondent Abdullahi Lawson has more.
Between 2010 and 2015, Ghana experienced a significant loss of forest cover, with a total of 160,210 acres being depleted. This loss surpassed the 157,300 hectares of forest that were cultivated between 1967 and 2016, indicating that the country lost more forest cover in just 5 years than it had managed to plant in the previous 53 years. This alarming trend coincided with the rise of illegal mining, commonly known as galamsey, in Ghana's forest reserves. In response to this environmental crisis, the Ghanaian government initiated Green Ghana Day, an annual event aimed at bridging the gap between deforestation and afforestation in the country. Participating in the recent Green Ghana Day, German Ambassador to Ghana, Daniel Krul, emphasized the importance of this annual tree planting exercise. He called for immediate action against deforestation and stressed the need to identify areas suitable for afforestation and recreational activities.
I mean, it's not enough to plant trees. We need both. We need planting trees, identifying areas for forestry, not only on the countryside, but also in the urban areas, very, very important for recreational areas. And so we need these designated areas for forestation, and we need this action against deforestation.
Ambassador Krul further urged the Ghanaian government to take decisive measures to halt the activities of illegal miners, as these activities undermine the progress made in afforestation efforts.
It is illegal mining, so if it's illegal, then it shouldn't take place. So a country that is based on rule like Ghana, then illegal activities should be stopped. And I hope this government will live up to its own aims in this regard.
Among the attendees of the event was Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, Ghana's former Minister of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, who received commendation from the German government for his unwavering commitment and dedication to environmental protection. Reporting for Newslink on West Africa Democracy Radio, I am Atiewin Imbila Lawson in Accra.
You are listening to Newslink here on West Africa Democracy Radio, broadcasting from Dakar, Senegal on 94.9 FM. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Mali's referendum vote says participation of defense and security forces, excluding reconstituted armed forces in Kidal. Burkina Faso and Morocco forged strong partnerships through key cooperation agreements. And 79 Guinean nationals seized during the Dakar protest, deported after their release. Still ahead in the news, the Beninese government deployed over 1,000 health workers across the country. We also have the guest interview and press review. Stay with us.
West Africa Democracy Radio. It's you speaking.
Remember, we are streaming live on WADR.org and on Facebook, West Africa Democracy Radio, and via YouTube on WADR News. In Nigeria, Rafi local government area of Niger State has been reported having increased in bandit attacks which in recent days killed 15 farmers and carried 15 farmers, and also recorded the abduction of at least 15 women and girls from several communities. Reports from the media reveal that this devastating attack occurred on Saturday, merely a day after 30 members of the vigilante group were tragically killed, with numerous villagers also being taken captive in Kushaki village. Imo Edet has more details.
Confirming the attack, a community leader in one of the villages who did not want his name mentioned for security reasons claimed that the bandits have resumed attacks with full force in some villages in the local government, calling on the state government and security agencies to come to their aid to ameliorate their hardship. He said that the community has been under siege by bandits in the last 2 weeks as the situation had worsened. The senator representing Niger East Senatorial District, Mohammed Sani Musa, confirmed the attack to a local channel on Sunday. The lawmaker expressed concern that the bandits have resumed attacks in 4 local government councils of Rafi, Paikoro, Munya, and Shiroro that form part of his constituency. He is, however, confident that the administration of President Bola Tinubu would soon deal with such challenges. Abiodun, Deputy Superintendent of Police, said police in collaboration with the military have been dispatched to Yakila, Tegina, Kagara, Pandogari, Kusherki, and other villages to restore normalcy in the affected areas. Meanwhile, the police authorities have arrested a wanted logistics supplier, an informant to a kidnapping and banditry group terrorizing the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and its environs.
Imo Edit filed that report. In Cote d'Ivoire, no fewer than 5 lives were lost in a landslide after heavy downpour on Sunday. The victims included a father, the mother, and 3 children from the same family. According to the state police, the landslide occurred in the sub-district of Millionaire, located in the northern part of Abidjan's Yopougon commune. The intensity of the rainfall was immense, with Abidjan experiencing over 200 millimeters of water during the night. Consequently, numerous neighborhoods were flooded and several major roads became impassable, according to SODASAM, the Meteorological Management Institution. Authorities say from January to June 6, 2023, it has recorded 17 cases of child victims affected by the harmful effects of the rain, including 15 fatalities and 2 injuries. Recall Abidjan has been plagued by recurrent scenarios of torrential rain followed by devastating floods, particularly in flood-prone areas that are often inhabited by impoverished populations.
This is the newspaper review. Stay on top of the news. Get the most important stories with added insight and concise review.
This is the newspaper review.
Well, for headlines and writers from major Nigerian dailies, let's join Usman Omar in Abuja.
Hello and welcome to the press review segment. Today we shall be looking at the Nation newspaper and The Point. Let's start with the Nation newspaper. It has as its banner headline, June 12th, Why We Must Defend Our Democracy by Tinubu. Tinubu, of course, is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. With riders, expect better deal from me. Judicial reform has started. Abiola's sacrifice should not be in vain. These are riders to the story on June 12th. Earlier today, the president in a national broadcast praised the sacrifices of Nigeria's heroes past, particularly MKO Abiola, that is Moshood Kashimolu Abiola, who won the June 1993 presidential election, which was later annulled by the then military junta under the leadership of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. Abiola was arrested and jailed. He was under detention until the reign of General Sani Abacha, when he eventually passed on under military detention. And that was what warranted the national broadcast by the president, in which he touched on a number of issues, especially including the issue of subsidy removal, the issue of insecurity. He also talked about the issue of the revival of Nigeria's economy, and he begged Nigerians to make a little more sacrifice, saying that his administration is focused on delivering on all the promises of the Hope Agenda, which is the title of the president's promise to Nigerians. Now, quickly, we move to our next paper for today, which is The Point. The Point has as its banner headline, 10th National Assembly election. Contenders dread two-horse race with riders, lobby state governors to woo colleagues. Lawmakers torn between ethnicity pocket gains. Why Northwest is adamant, Lasun Yusuf. Of course, the race for who becomes the Speaker of the 10th National Assembly and who becomes the Senate President of the 10th Senate is gaining momentum. And the party, that is the ruling All Progressives Congress, we have seen the active involvement of the party up to the presidency in selecting who becomes what in the 10th National Assembly. And so fireworks have been on, and this is yet to be seen until the National Assembly conducts its election after they are inaugurated. So we are waiting to see who becomes the next Speaker and the next Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So quickly, we move to our last paper, which is the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust is also leading with a story on President Tinubu's National Broadcast on Democracy Day. He says, "Bear with me on subsidy removal," Tinubu tells Nigerians, with riders, promises investment in power, transportation, healthcare, others. Pays tribute to Abiola, Eradua, others. Use gains to deepen Nigeria's democracy. IBB, Atiku, Obi react to the president's speech on Democracy Day. And on this note, we've come to the end of the press review segment for today. With me, Usman Umar from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. It's back to you in the studios.
Politics,
Analysis on major news.
social matters, and all. This is The Guest.
Now, ahead of the Blood Donor Day on June 14, WADR's Health Desk consulted a medical expert on blood donation, a procedure that helps save lives. First off, there are several types of blood donation, and each type helps meet different medical needs. The theme of World Blood Donor Day 2023 is Give Blood, Give Plasma, Share Life, Share Orphan. Our guest today, a hematologist, Dr. Emmanuel Sakide, says whole blood donation is the most common type of blood donation. During this donation, you donate about a pint, that is about a half liter of whole blood. This blood is then separated into its components, red cells, plasma, sometimes platelets. Let's hear more from our guests.
First of all, once a client comes in for donation purposes, the client is first registered, your ID card will be checked, so that will know your age, because there's a specific requirement of age that can check donate blood. Then there's a basic eligibility test that we will do to find out whether you're eligible enough to donate the blood. Then they will check your blood level to see whether you have enough blood, even that it don't give you a problem. After you have passed through those, then you are placed on a reclining chair. Then the needle is inserted in your arm. Then the process begins. So generally, basically that's what goes on. Once it's done, the needle is removed. You relax a little bit. You are given something to drink and relax for 15 minutes. Then you are way off. You go home. So that's in summary the whole process.
Well, doctor, would you say some of this process of checking the age eligibility of the donor and other things make people don't want to go, voluntarily to donate blood?
Oh, I don't think so. The eligibility criteria is there to protect the people that are supposed to come and donate. If you are below 18 years, you are 16, 15, 12, you are too young to donate blood. If you are above 65, you're around 80, 70, you're already fragile to donate. So those things are just done to protect the donors. So it shouldn't deter anybody from donating blood. They are put in place so that once you donate, you don't have any adverse effect. You donate, you are strong. You go back, you are strong. So it doesn't. I don't think it really supposed to deter anybody from donating blood.
But how long does this process take? I mean, from what you've explained, does it take up to 30 minutes, 1 hour?
Yes. So from the time you enter, the time you are leaving, depending on which facility you are, between 30 minutes to about 40 minutes, yes.
Yeah, I said, how long will it take to replenish the pint of blood one donates?
Yes, it takes any amount of blood. You see, the red blood cells itself, it takes 3 months for it to be destroyed. Every blood that your body produces, by the end of 3 months, all of them will be destroyed and a new one is produced, even whether you donate or you don't donate. So when you donate a full pint, it will take another 3 months for you to get a full complement of everything that you donated. So it takes maximum of 3 months.
But how long does it take for donated blood to be used? Is it just stored in the blood bank?
Yes, it's stored in the blood bank for between 30 to 45 days. So within that because we use some chemicals to preserve them, and the chemicals are supposed to last between 30 to 45 days. So a month and about almost 4 to 6 weeks, yes, it can be stored in the blood bank to be used.
So what happens to the body after the blood donation?
No, nothing happens to the body. Yes, you have, every human being have about, let's say, approximately 5 liters of blood. So usually, if 500 ml out of it, it's almost like 10% of it is taken out. Usually, you are giving a lot of fluids to drink, so it just replaces what you have lost. So the body physiologically, that is why we have to go through eligibility criteria such that, you have enough blood and excess, so that when you even take the excess off, it's excess you have taken off, so nothing really happens to your body. You are still in your normal body shape, your physiological function, everything is okay. But if you are not within the normal, we won't even take the blood from you. It's only when you are below your normal that we take that something will happen to you. But if you are above it and we take, you don't have any problem at all.
Dr. Emmanuel Sakide is a hematologist. Now join Imo Edet on Well Body at the bottom of the hour for the concluding part of that interview. More on health authorities in Benin have launched the first phase of the National Community Health Policy in Niki in the northern region of the country. The project aims to bring health workers closer to the people, which will see 1,500 community relays and 37 qualified community health workers responsible for ensuring the well-being of the populations in the communes of Niki, Kaleli, Banikora, Bambreki, Sinendiki, and Malamville. In the world of sports, Egyptian giants Al Ahly have clinched the record-extending 11 CAF Champions League title after a 1-1 draw with Wydad Casablanca on Sunday. Egypt star Mohamed Abdul Mumin scored a 78-minute header as Ahly came from a goal down to draw 1-1 with Wydad. Ahly won the final 3-2 on aggregate, having 2-1 at home in Cairo the first leg last weekend. The Cairo-based Ahly bounced back from their 2-0 loss to the Moroccan outfit in the final last season to reclaim their title. And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Newslink. Thank you for listening. Many thanks to our listeners in the Gambia via Hot 104.3 FM Banjul and the Liberia, via Alternative Radio 98.9 FM Lofa County, and in Ghana on Royals FM 104.7 Wenchi. Yes, Billy must be on the console, and Mustafa Sek has been responsible for the media feed. Do interact with us via social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram at WADR News, on Facebook, West Africa Democracy Radio English Service, and stream live on WADR.org. I am Abdullahi Hassan. Good afternoon.
News, talk,
Music.
get it all 24 hours on West Africa Democracy Radio
94.9 FM.